You're so focused on this, as in I must get there on time, I have this appointment, I must, and time controls many of you on the planet. So to get out of your head is to be more about the mindfulness of how you're living your life. Process it through your body, be aware of what's coming up and how it's making you feel. So many of you try to think that I must get to the end, I must do that job, I must complete this task, I must, they said. But you're not enjoying the journey. So I've opened up, I'm channeling, I've got my guides here, Ascended Masters, been around quite some time, they said. And so the message that I kept on hearing all day today and tuning in, sort of doing the meditation for about an hour now, tuning in and asking for information. What can I bring forward? What's the information they would like me to share with you all today? And there was quite a few bits and bobs, but let's go with this, what they said. Okay, thank you. Okay, they keep saying to me, it's all in the journey. It's all in the journey right now. And what they mean is it's all in the journey right now of who you are. It's your adventure. It's your adventure. It's where you're at. It's there. Thank you. They said, so many of you try to think that I must get to the end. I must do that job. I must complete this task. I must, they said. But you're not enjoying the journey. Okay, they're going to use my example. Why is nothing private in my life? Okay, so example today, I've been busy building something outside, and Andrew and I have been building this container and stuff, and he's like, come on quick, we've got to get this done, we've got to get this finished. And I'm like, whoa, hang on a minute, it's not rushing to get this wooden container for the plants finished. It's in the process. You have to take your time. When you tune into it and feel into it, you might want to pot that plant there, that other plant there, you might want to put a rock here, you might want to change a few things around. And he's just going to say, no, we've got to get this finished, we've got to get this finished today, I want to get it finished. And he was in such a hurry, and I said, whoa, step back. I don't do things like this. And my guides were saying, tell him it's all in the journey. So the bigger scheme of things is they're saying it's all in the journey. A lot of you try to rush. A lot of you try to get something completed, to get that task finished. When I do this, when I've finished, it'll be okay. I can move and I can do this, I can do this. And you're constantly chasing your tail. You get that one project done and then there's another project. And so you're never in that moment of absorbing. And I had to literally pin Andrew down and get him to sit down and say, now, look at it. And the way it was created, we built this high-rise bed and it was out of wood. We put the soil in, we put some of the plants in, put some rocks in there, just to give it an alpine sort of look. And he just sat there and said, right, good, it's finished. Right, let's move on. And I went, no. You have to feel into it. It doesn't feel right somehow. He's getting used to me. And I said to him, I need to feel into the plants. What? He said. And I said, I need to feel into the plants. So I walked around my garden for a bit and I was like, right, this plant's talking to me. It needs to be put in this space over here. So when the plants were actually planted in the planter, instead of just going in a row, which he likes everything very neat, I'm not, as you can see, and so he wanted everything very neat in a row. I was like, are you going to get a tape measure out? No, but it doesn't look right. I went, trust me. So I went out, got some plants from the front garden, moved them here, I moved them into the actual border, and I placed them in the border. And there was like higgledy-piggledy. And he was like, oh my God. I said, but look, your eyes are now drawn to the back of the fence where there are other plants placed and then there are other rocks. It gives it more of a 3D feel. It gives it more of different dimensions of the actual bedding. It looks different. I said, it's coming alive. It's speaking to you. Can you not feel it? He just looked at me like, okay. But I was trying to teach him. I was trying to say to him, look, when you look at it from different angles, you can see different things. So it's like looking at the plant bed and looking at different angles of the plant bed. And my guides kept on saying, tell him it's in the journey. Slow him down. And that's their message today. They keep saying to me today to say, slow it down. There is no rush to get to the end. you have to be in the moment. Okay, thank you. They said the energy on the planet right now, a lot of you are going through that spiritual awakening. Some of you have been through a spiritual awakening, the first layer. You think you've nailed it and you're like, yep, we've done it. I'm good. I'm aware of spirits. I'm aware of, angels. I'm aware that there's a bigger plan to life. I've had my awakening, I had a breakdown, or I've got a divorce, or I lost my job, or my car's broke down, or there's some other drama that's going on in your life, and you think that's it. And you get through it and you're like, you can't wait to get through it, and whatever. Thank you. They said, what happens is you're not in the moment. Some of you are not realizing by some of these situations that are happening, you have to be in the moment. There's so many that either bury their heads in the sand or emotionally decide to go off, and they said a lot of you on your planet decide to keep spending, and that's okay to some degree, but if you just keep ignoring the actual problem that you have, it's going to come up again. You give it another excuse for it to come up again and to rear its head. So the idea is, when there is something coming up, if there is a drama, there's a divorce or the end of a relationship or some sort of drama of any type of form, they said sit with it. What is it showing you? They slowed me down again recently. They slowed me down for the last 5 weeks. I had a really quite painful neck. I broke my neck twice over the last couple of years, and this time it's been quite muscular and it's quite painful, and I was really upset and very angry, and I was like, I just need to get on. I need to do all these jobs around the house, and I want to do some recordings, and I want to do teaching and all these projects I want to do. And then I sat with it and I asked my guides, my team, and I said, why? What is the lesson here? And all I had was simple, like, sit, be still. If we don't make you ill, or we don't give you something to hold you back, you just keep going, you drain your energy. And I was like, oh. So my lesson was to slow down. And actually, by slowing down the last couple of weeks, I've learned so much more in the last couple of weeks. And normally I'm seeing up to 30 clients in a week. And last week I think it was about 10, 15 clients. And I was like, but why? And they're like, because you need a break. So they're saying at this moment, if any of you are having that experience, it's like slowing you down. Okay, thank you. They just said to me, I was writing on my board in front of me, it says all about in the journey right now. So that's really important. It's all in the journey right now. And slow down, take your time. There's no rush. One of my guides said, smell the roses, which I thought was quite funny because I've been smelling flowers all day. And they said no rush to get to the finishing line. And I was like, okay. Now this discombobulation energy, discombobulation, I love that word, discombobulated. If you're feeling discombobulated right now, it could be that you might be going for a spiritual awakening again and again, and another layer of yourself and another layer. And it's really about embodying that shadow work at the moment. It's really about looking at where you're at on your journey. Okay, thank you. They said there's a lot of individuals at the moment that are coming across like studying or lessons they're learning right now, lessons they learn about themselves. And thank you, they said the biggest project you have on this planet is to learn about yourself. The biggest project and nothing else. Your biggest project. That should be your biggest project, your biggest adventure at this particular time on the planet where you're at. Because if you don't know yourself, it actually affects everything else around you. And that's the most important thing about coming back to yourself right now. So when there is something that comes up, when there's a little bit of a disaster, as you might see it, or trauma or chaos, let's use the word chaos. If there's some chaos that's going on, sit with it, observe it, sit with it. You don't need to know the answer to it. You don't need to know the end of it. You need to sit with it at this particular time. And by sitting with it and knowing how you are feeling with it, is that you get to understand yourself better, rather than trying to source out or find out why, or thank you, they said, or therapize it. I mean, they're talking to me because, being a therapist as well. You don't need to therapize it. You need to just sit with it. Just process it through your body. Be aware of what's coming up and how it's making you feel. And thank you, they said, yes, there are many reflections. There are going to be many people that come up and they reflect something back to you, so that you see an issue and you think, okay, I must look at this. There's something going on with myself. This is why this situation's come up. And they said, not always. It could be literally maybe the lessons in the fact that where someone might be annoying you, it's not them, it's how you're feeling about the situation, but maybe it's teaching you actually to walk away from it rather than still keep trying to sort the problem out. And if by a situation that someone, whether family or friends or colleagues or whatever it is, person walking down the road, if there's a situation that just keeps coming up and you keep therapizing it like, what's this teaching me? Not everything's going to be teaching you about, you must learn something about that person. It might be that actually the biggest lesson here is for you to just say, I surrender, I give up, I walk away. So there's not always that by looking at a situation and trying to therapize the other person and think, what's this lesson showing to me, as in, do I need to make some changes here, in the sense of to not to fix somebody or sort something out, but maybe the lesson in this is actually to go, okay, do you know what, I put my hands up, my lesson in this is to walk away, to let go. And a lot of you will be having this at this moment in time, that discombobulation feeling, discombobulated feeling, that actually you're feeling in so many different places at once. The more information you learn, you find something out new, you want to apply it but it's still not working, or it's not working how you thought it was going to work. They said just get out of your heads. So it's really about being that human at this point, as in experiencing life, having the emotions, going through this process, and just be with ease, just sit with it. They said, thank you. They said, you're going to go through cycles in your lifetime. It's inevitable. You are going to go through cycles, just like nature. And what does nature do? Every year it comes around. Different parts of the world have their seasons. You have the spring, you have the summer, you have the autumn, you have the winter. This is also like life. And this is also knowing that as the cycles, as the world is here, you wake up every morning, there's the dawn, and then you go to sleep. But every day that this happens, you get another opportunity to live another new day, and not to take the old problems into the next day, but just to sit with it, just sit back, ease off the brakes. There's no rush. Because if you're not observing how you're feeling right now, and you just constantly keep thinking, I need to get that finished, I need to do this, I need to do that, you're chasing your tail all the time, you're not living in the moment. You're just stretching your energy out so far ahead that you're not totally living and being mindful in the moment. You're not absorbing it. And that discombobulation at the moment is very much do the shadow work. So there's going to be a lot of shadow work coming up. So shadow work literally meaning, you know, it's the old memories, it's the old experiences, it's the old feelings about yourself, it's the, can I do this? It's, you know, it feels like, let me see, okay, whether this would be the right example, but if only. Imagine this is yourself, and I've used this many times before. This is yourself at this period of time in your life. Something happens, you're making great changes, and then there's another part of yourself, and this is another part of yourself, and there's another part of yourself. And so there are layers of yourself at this particular time. Now, some of you, thank you, they said some of you might be studying, some of you might be trying to get a project done, some of it might be to do with the business, some of it might be about moving house. There's a lot of different layers to each and every part of you and all of you. And it just feels that discombobulation is that shadow part of yourself at this moment, that bringing it all in together. And I feel that's what they want to do, as in the meditation today, when they get to the meditation, is that wanting to bring everything back into one place, because your energy goes off. So if you're thinking about work, your energy is going to go off. Part of your energy is going to stretch out and think about work. If you think about what's going on in a relationship, another part of yourself is going off in that relationship. If there's something going on in the house or the home that you live in and you want to fix, your energy is going off somewhere else. you're just, they said, thank you, they said, like tentacles of energy. You're like an octopus. There's all energy being stretched out all over the place, and so you can feel a bit discombobulated. And you know, that in itself, they're going like this, that in itself, the energy, it's spread out. It's like it's no good for any of you, they said. So they said, thank you, they said, they just said, why do you think the wise man or wise woman sits in silence and sits there? But they have learned in a way to bring their mind in, like to bring their energy in from their head and bring it back to the heart center. But many of you, your minds are traveling out. So each time you're in your mind, your thinking mind sends the energy out in different directions, and then you can possibly feel drained and tired. So at this moment in time, there's so many changes happening for each of you in your world, that this discombobulation is the feeling of the tentacles of energy, that you may be thinking something and the energy goes off in another direction. So they just said, so be the octopus, come back into the heart center, be the body of the octopus sitting here inside, and just allowing yourself to have that space, and just to be observing. It's like watching the river, watching the wind in the trees, watching the birds. Be at peace with yourself and be at peace with nature. So they said, come out of your heads, come back into your heart center, and just to absorb what is occurring for you. And so that then through the journey of all of this discombobulation, you have that time for it to simmer, to sit with it. One of my guys just said that they're not hungry, in the sense of they're not, don't eat food because they don't have the physical body, the cells to grow. They said it's like a good stew or a casserole. You don't rush to go in and eat the casserole. You let it simmer for a while, and by letting it simmer, the taste tastes so much better. So see life like a casserole. You add the ingredients and just slowly just observe it and just taste it. And I think they said, and I love this, okay, they said, see it like a buffet. I noticed, I've got one of my guides and I've had him in many times before, an ascended master, and he makes me laugh because he's quite a large character, large man, and he's got this beard and this here, and he's got his little, it feels quite oriental, sort of Chinese, that sort of thing. I'm not sure exactly. Okay, yeah, I know who you are. Anyway, and he always talks about food and other things, bodily things, but we're going to be with food, we'll go with that. But he's talking about like food and being the casserole, and allow yourself just to simmer, just to be still. And then he just said, I like this, he's just sitting here, because I'm even the way I'm sitting, I can feel him engaging, feeling physically sitting here. He's talking here, he said, let yourself taste life, the buffet, he says. And I love it because, as I say, I've had him here before, and so he's been a human presence on planet Earth and ascended masters, because he learnt a lot when he was here on planet Earth as such. And he said, to be in the experiences, to live in the experience, allow yourself to absorb the experiences rather than jump into the next experience. Allow yourself to be fully engaged within what is happening for you right now. That's going to be important. Okay, thank you. And he says, with the shadow part of yourself, which is again the how you see yourself when you're not too happy with yourself, or you think that you cannot do something, just to sit with it, just to make friends with it, be still with this shadow part of yourself, the worries, the anxiety, whatever it may be, just to sit with it. And he just said, he showed me, it's like, then you feed it food. And I'm like, what? So he said, thank you, he said, it's like, okay, so you embrace it, you embrace that part of yourself, be kind to that part of yourself, instead of creating that judgment against yourself, what you cannot do, or you taking too long in doing this, or you haven't got that new job yet, or you haven't completed that new journal, or don't beat yourself up. And he's just giving me the characters of Tom and Jerry from the cartoon with the frying pan banging in your head. So don't beat yourself up, he said, just slowly. But this is that time at this moment. It is the time at this moment, the next couple of weeks. as we move into the middle of April, particularly, he says, where you then can allow yourself to take this time just to say to yourself, okay, it's like when you're on holiday. So when you're on holiday, you would have a little break. It's the same thing, but just be mindful of embodying this time for yourself right now. Okay, thank you. Is there any tips to get out of your head? Okay, thank you. He said, you see, when you're in your head, it's difficult to walk. He says you're physically aware. When you're physically aware that you're walking, then you're walking on a space. You're walking. But if you're in your head and you're walking, you sometimes you think that, yes, okay, automatic pilot, my body's going to engage with the walk. I don't have to think about walking because I can put one foot in front of the other. I've done this before from baby. But what if you became more mindful of your feet when you walk? What if that you do not engage with the head in overthinking where you're going? Because again, this is where you many of you are overthinking about getting to where you must get to, go walk into, or I'm going to be late for work, and just constantly thinking about I'm going to be late to work, I must hurry up, but not engaging in the journey. You see, when many of you do not engage in the journey, you are not in that conversation with others around you, so you miss the opportunity of hearing messages from your guides, your angels, your loved ones, because you're so focused on this, as in I must get there on time, I have this appointment, I must, and time controls many of you on the planet. So to get out of your head is to be more about the mindfulness of how you're living your life. So when you're enjoying chocolate or a hot coffee or tea, or you see, we cannot engage in that. We cannot use our taste buds. We do not have the opportunity here where we are eating and drinking. We have lost that because our physical body, we do not have the senses. Again, we have said this before, you are sensory beings. You are the humans in the physical body that you are sensing information, you're receiving information, the cold, the warmth, you're feeling, you're touching, you're tasting and hearing. We do not feel that. So, but be mindful, be in the physical body, as in the sense that engage in the practices of what your body's physically doing. Okay, I know what he's going to say. Okay, do I need to share this? Okay, let's share something. And I'm like, do I need to? And he's like, yes, Anne, you do. And he's tapping me on my shoulder. I'm like, oh my God, I've learned I have to sort of just give information. I don't want to be there, but I'm like, okay, fine. Oh dear, okay, fine. So for instance, when we go to the bathroom, how many of you do you take your phones into the bathroom? I mean, when you're on the toilet, basically, and you're sitting there, do you read your emails? Do you click on and look at Instagram? Is it just me? I don't know. It might be, and some people might be horrified that, oh my God, how can you do that? But what he's saying is, it's like, I observed something the other day. Oh God, here come my secrets all out. No, they're not secrets. But so I bought this house, and it was my dream one day. And I had this dream a very long time ago that if I ever bought a property that would overlook fields or trees, I would love to sit in a bath and relax and have a cup of tea, herbal tea, and even have chocolate, because that's what I like. And also have the windows open, or have clear windows where you can see the trees. And I've got little shutters, and it's like, literally, I was in the bath the other day, and I was watching the podcast and everything, and my guide was tapping me, going, excuse me, didn't you want these windows? Didn't you want to be looking at the trees? And I was like, oh my God, yes, I did. So I was like, put my phone away, and I was literally, also there was a moment when I was sitting on the toilet as well, and literally I was on my phone, and they went, excuse me. This is the thing, when you start doing this job for a whole living, like for your living all day long, they're there like, yes. And they said, you're not in the moment. And I was like, I don't need to be in the moment, my body knows what to do. And they said, you need to be in the moment, you have to have that body function. How many of us don't even be in the moment when we're having a body function? I know how bad that might sound, or embarrassing, but it's like we're always on our phone, or we're always checking emails, or we're checking Instagram, and I'm one of those. And I said to my guide, literally, I don't have 5 minutes in the day to do it. Oh, yes, you do. So be in the moment. So the answer to your question is, how do you get out of your head and you go into your heart center? Your heart center resides in your physical body, of course, like your head and your brain does, of course. But when you're in your heart center, in the sense of being present in the moment, it will help you to shift from the head of worrying or overthinking things. Dropping down into your heart center would be more of a physical thing, where you're sitting there and you're absorbing how you're feeling. So literally now I'm not allowed to take my phone into the bathroom with me or to the toilet, because those are the body functions that I need to be enjoying, because I'm in a physical body. I mean, who knew that? I mean, seriously, even going to the toilet, out of the bathroom, I don't have no peace and quiet. So yes, so that may help you to try that practice of being mindful of when you pick up your phone. That will help as well. Be mindful of, you know, where your mind might wander off. Your mind is like, I think they said, not leaking up. I think it's like a tentacle that stretches out like an octopus, and it grabs onto energy. And we've got to be mindful of what our body needs. So there's bodily functions, they said. So just, you know, now he's saying about belching, but anyway, so be mindful of, you know, when you're out and about and you're physically doing this. I mean, I know who this guy is, makes me laugh. So that's the information I have to give you. Anne might have given you something slightly different, but I'm just giving you information from them, so hopefully that will work. Okay, great question, I love that. I'm sitting in front of a brilliant medium that is so gifted and talented, and she's saying that maybe it's not for her because life might be at the moment. So honestly, okay, thank you. There's no mistake why they're sort of talking about discombobulation today and talking about shadow self. The shadow self is when we have doubts about ourselves. So it makes sense when, you know, we might be studying something, or we've got a new job, or we've got starting up a new business, or whatever it is. We're going to have those doubts because the old part of ourselves is like, feels uncomfortable, as in going, oh, my shadow self, if she shines some light on me, I will no longer exist. That's the part of the shadow self, is very much like, you know, that inner part of you that resides. It's a bit like, thank you, I wouldn't use that, but hey, we're going to go with that. God, I'm not inviting this one in again. Like, it's like a spider hiding in the corner in the darkness, or the dark under the bed. It's like what we fear the most creeps up or comes up. It shows itself at any given time. This is something to sort of actually embody and, you know, shine the light on it. You know, like children are very scared, and they're like, there might be a bogeyman under my bed, and it's only when you get the torch and like, see, have a look, there's nothing there, that you start believing and going, oh, but the mind will wander off. And that's working with the shadow self. So what you have just said to me about, you know, is this work, you know, meant to be? If anything, I'm feeling as in, hold on. So again, it would make sense in what they're talking about today, as in, hold on. Not everything has to be a race or a rush right now. Okay, thinking, what they're telling me for yourself is that it feels as if there's a lot of other things that have got to happen in your life around you right now, so that when you end up doing your mediumship, when you work with clients, is that from the experiences that you've gained from other parts of your life are going to interplay with what you're going to do and the clients that you're going to have to you. So lots of people don't understand this, but in the sense that thinking that literally who we are as an individual, whatever we are going through, drama, trauma, chaos, whatever in life, we're learning a lot from it. If we're the ones that don't bury our head in the sand, we're learning a lot from it, so that then when we end up working with clients, those and therapists, I've had many counsellors that I've been counselling or coaching, where I say to them that actually through your journey you've been on in life, these are your clients that you're going to have, because in a way your life experience is getting you to that point, so you're ready to have those particular clients. So for you, you know, when I'm sitting here in front of you, I'm being told it's just that other things are going on around you right now that need to be dealt with. It's giving you the time later on, so that then you'll have that freedom to do what you need to do. And they said there's no rush, it will wait for you. It will wait for you. It's not as if that you've got a timeline that, or, you know, if any opportunities come up and you say, oh, I've got to do it by this time. if it's the right thing for you at the right time, the energy, it will come back up again for you again. It won't sort of pass you by. But again, it's about your transmission of your heart center. It's who you are as a person. That the transmission of energy that you are sending out, you literally need to match up with the energy of your clients. So your energy of your clients will come to you. And it's like everything that we're doing, any projects that we're doing, any work that we're doing, we need to match up with that energy. So for you personally, I would say to you, no, it just means there's other things that's going on around you that need to be dealt with first. Thank you. To make way, pave the way for you with the work that you're going to go on to do. It will help. How do you get that balance between, you know, there's always this surge of energy, and I remember it very well, but there's this surge of energy right now that loads of people have had their spiritual awakenings in a sense, or really in tune, or really receiving information, really connected to their guides, and really, like, you're told, you feel this rush in your energy, like, you know, I've got to get going, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. And thank you. And one of my guys just said, but don't forget, the energy when we come in is very high, fast frequency. So it's how you are interpreting what you are receiving. So working with guides, working with angels, working with ascended masters, whoever it is that any of you work with, that when they start working with you, the energy feels very high, fast. It's like whizzing. It can feel like, you know, drinking a lot of caffeine or something, or whatever it is, different drinks, coffee, Red Bull, whatever it is, but drinking a lot of caffeine, it sort of comes in energetically, and it makes you feel like, oh my God, I've got to do this. And it's like that sort of that rush feeling, you've got to rush with it. But that's just because of their energy you're working in. You're plugging yourself in, you're tuning yourself in, you're connecting yourself into the mainstream of the energy fields. The energy fields of quantum physics, universal fields of energy, is very high frequency. The unconditional love is very high frequency. The universe is high frequency. And for a human, we have to say to ourselves, I'm tuning into their energies, for us just to be aware of it. That's what that energy feels like. But that rush of energy, that high frequency that we're picking up, remember, we're like radios and we're picking up, you know, different channels of information. What you're picking up is that urgency. You've got to level up, you've got to do it. But that's just the message in that field of energy. It doesn't mean that as a human we work at a slower pace. We're denser energy, we're a lot slower. You know, we have our physical human being body, we're eating, we're digesting food. I don't know about you, but if I have something too late in the evening, I'm asleep. So it's like my body's digesting food, my body needs sleep, my body, you know, I need the exercise, my body, you know, we've got to look at it from a different point of view. As a human vessel, we have to go at our own pace, otherwise we burn out. So a lot of you out there who are working energetically, the light workers, and feeling this urgency, yes, there's always been an urgency because their energy is very high frequency. So it's just making us aware that we've got to go, right, this is the energy of them. They're telling us to level up. Their time zone is very different from us. The time zone is very different. The concept of time is very different. You know, I'm sitting in front of an audience here now having this. We've got people from America, France, different parts of Europe, Germany, England, all over the place that are listening at this moment. But this will be worldwide. And our energy zones and our time zones are very different. So it can feel like jet lag in a sense of when we're working energetically with our guides. And again, they're very high frequency. They don't have a physical form. It's like smoke. It's an energy that moves about. It has no container. It can be anywhere it wants to be at any given time. So of course it's going to feel like this. It's like a child going, come on, are we nearly there? Are we nearly there? Because they want to work with you. And a lot of light workers are going to be feeling this. And a lot of, you know, my students, a lot of, you know, people that are clients are feeling that urge and like a thirst, like I've got to know more, I've got to know more. But we have to know more at your own pace too, because you're a physical human being. You're mentally, your mind and brain and emotions, you know, we're complicated machinery. So we've got to go at your pace. Thank you. They said it's always got to be at your pace. So it's literally by saying, right, no, hold on, hold back. I'm not. I will get there at the moment, but you just need to give me a moment. I know there's an urgency. There's been an urgency on the planet for God knows how many hundreds of years. There's always an urgency. What it is they're excited. They're, oh God, there's somebody else that's going to tune into us, and we can send out information up to this person, and she can tell the whole world again. They're happy that people are picking up and becoming mindful and aware and awoken and tuning into the energy. And there's loads more coming online all the time. But you have to also honour your physical body and go, right, okay, no, I'm a bit jet lagged, or literally, this is generally for everybody, jet lagged with energy right now. I need some time. I'm a bit discombobulated. I'll get there when I need to get there. So it's like literally really knowing the energy you're working with, I'd say, as a light worker, really tuning into who am I working with, you know, and I'll work with you. And we don't have to have the end result. We don't have to know like exactly, so what would I be doing? All I want you to do right now is like just tune into it. Just keep receiving the information, keep working with it. But you are a priority. It's you. Without your human physical vessel, they can't work with you. It's changing that view around. It's not like going, and lots of people do, oh, I'm so excited, I'm receiving all this information, I'm channeling all this information, and it's all coming in, and I'm going to give it all myself, because you're burnt out. They need you to work for them. So, you know, they need you to say when you're ready, when you're not ready, and take it at your own pace, because you're a human physical body. You need rest as well. They don't have to eat, they don't sleep, they don't go to the bathroom, they don't go to the shower, they don't do any of that. So they don't know what happens in your day. They don't understand. They don't need to sleep. They don't have a physical body that needs to rest so the cells can rest and everything else. I'm not a doctor, but they don't have to do that. You do. So they need to listen to you. It's like having an uncontrollable, they said toddler or baby or dog or something, or a puppy. You need to tell them what you want. Okay? So when you're, okay, thank you, they said, okay, this is very similar to what they just said with their energy. When you're in your flow, and you are, when you are in your flow and information comes in and you need to get it out and you've got a deadline and you want to go with it, go with the flow. Thank you. They said, don't put a break on it. So go with the flow, because this is not every single day what's happening for yourself. Having a deadline with your particular self in your project, they're sort of saying go with the flow of the energy. I think they said, and they said yes, you will have time to sit, to be still, but it's knowing when that time is. And they're sort of saying, okay, thank you, let's explain more. They said, okay, thank you. And they said, it's interesting. Sometimes individuals will feel that they have to complete something by a certain period of time. And they may go, oh, I'm going to put 9 hours into this. And then, yet, if they had the cat nap in between, like take a break, make the tea, have a cat nap, you'll be more productive. You'll get the information out. So personally for yourself with this question, they're saying that with yourself, it's not to feel that you're being rushed into completing this. It's by asking your guides in to show you how to complete this. So working with the trail of energy. So they want to hold your hand. It's interesting. I'm wondering if what they're going to do, because they're sort of saying channeling the information. So whether you'll even be aware of the information you're writing or what you're completing later today, as you said, you might work all through the night to get this done. I feel your guides are going to be with you getting this task done, this particular task, your work. It's like ask them to come in, ask them to deliver the information, but they said also to have the cat naps. It's also to take the little breaks in between, like the tea, the coffee, whatever you need, and then it will be completed, it'll be finished. This is not like a marathon, a long thing. They said that when you ask your guides to come in, this will be completed. I don't know if that's any helpful or not, but they keep saying the same thing. So does that... When you have tricky people in your life, this is not just for yourself, but there was something that happened recently, but when you have tricky people in your life, it's not necessarily the person brings up the situation, But it's not the person that we need to, they said again, therapize or work out so that we work with them better. It's more about what is the feelings that come up, which is the shadow stuff that come up. What comes up at this particular time for yourself, as in your physical sensory self will be feeling certain emotions which come to the surface. It's more to be working with the emotions and the sensory self, that how you are feeling, rather than the person. So it's whatever comes up around this individual, how they may be treating you, or how you are thinking that this is what's happening. It's not that it's not happening, it's actually, it's like in the emotions of yourself as you see yourself. So it's more that this person is a reflection of what is still sitting there internally within yourself that needs to come to the surface. Maybe it is that the voice needs to speak up and like, no, thank you, because you cannot, they said, you cannot change that person, but you can change your view to the situation that's happening. And thank you, they just said, with this individual person that you're talking about, it's like, if anything, thank you, this ascended master said, she needs to be more educated. She has to be more open to the fact that what you are delivering, what you are bringing forward on the planet, she might be, her view, maybe there may be others having the similar view, that you're going to educate them, but she's giving you the opportunity to educate her, which then goes on through your work, that you educate the others that feel the same way, that they have lack of understanding. You have more understanding of the situation. So maybe it's not that it's the individual, but maybe it's the gift, the lesson that they're giving you right now, as in, okay, so if she thinks like this, what is the shadow in myself which is coming up, and then how can I then say, how can I address other people that may feel similar to her, that maybe those people that will go on to read my book, and maybe I need to maybe demonstrate to her, and then also other people will understand this too, they said. You've got to take care of yourself individually, and that's a lot for everybody at the moment. It's about taking care of ourselves, right? We need to rest, we rest, we need to sleep, we sleep, we need to eat, we eat. It's those bodily functions. It's the basic at the moment of going, what do I need right now? That's important. We, you know, where I am in the UK, we're entering into spring. You know, we've got all the buds coming out now. You know, we've got, you know, birds are going, building new homes and everything else, and you know, the energy is amazing. It's a real stir of energy now, which is brilliant. And but there's also that take time. That's the biggest thing. So when you're learning new skill sets, when you're learning new information, it's also, you need time to absorb it, to really embody it. That's a really important thing. And we can only really embody that when we really are mindful of what we are experiencing. So it's like, just embody what you are learning right now and take it at your own pace. And it is literally your priority at the moment should just be literally those body functions. If it is to sleep, if it is to eat, is it to go to walk, you know, whatever it is, that's the most important thing right now. Because of, thank you, by embodying that, you're fully integrating the information they just said. You're integrating the information. And so that's where a lot of people are at the moment. It's about integrating what you've learned, sitting with it, feel the difference. And for those who are learning about psychic energy, or, you know, working as a medium, whatever it is, or a light worker, it comes in many stages, and you're going to have those waves of, I've got to learn all this and it's interesting, I'm excited, and you get to that certain level, and then it's got to be integrated. Your body's got to feel it. You've got to integrate it fully, and then you'll have another surge of energy. So it's like literally you'll get where you need to get to, or go to. And as I just said, it's all in the journey. You will get there, but it's also about acknowledging these moments of integration. So, you know, absorbing new information, learning more about yourself, learning more about spirit, energy, anything else, you integrate it, and then you do it again. You just need sometimes just to slow down for a little bit, and then you've recouped your energy, and then you're ready for it again. Okay.